this call, just to give you guys a little context, Karina was with me a couple other times. This is a Zoom podcast where I have people that I've met from all over the world, Toastmasters clubs, in my travels, and then sometimes I have 2 people, sometimes I have 7 people on. I usually do these Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Monday I do a Spanish call, and then Wednesday and Friday I do English call. So I wanted to bring Mike on because Michael, hey, actually Mike, I've been listening to your Milia trainings on almost like every week for the past like 4 weeks. You have a great manifestation and actually I have your book out here, Manifestation Made Simple.
Cool.
This is it, man. Thanks for joining.
It's my pleasure. Sorry it took me so long.
I know. I've been trying to get you on here for like a month. Well, yeah, cause yeah, that's true actually. Cause I started the podcast like last year, and I've been inviting you to be a part of the solo podcast. But this is a new thing that I've been doing. Like I've just been inviting multiple people on at a time, and
Cool.
it's way more fun. Cause if I have nothing to say, then somebody else does. So Karina, by the way, so Mike has been in personal development and network marketing for wow. How long, Mike?
Since before you guys were born.
Yeah, I'm incredibly inspired, honestly.
Yeah, he's the guy. If you ever want to learn something about any like personal development or network marketing, he's the guy.
Why have you stayed in like the industry for so long? You know, because there's a lot of people that, you know, they'll start in the industry and then like they transition into other things. Like, what keeps you in it? You know?
I started out in the personal development business,
Okay.
and I moved to network marketing in the mid '90s. And what keeps me in it is probably the money. Probably. I mean, like this past month, my partners and I just got a $25,000 bonus, and you know, so and most likely we'll get another $25,000 bonus this month coming up. At least we're working on it. I mean, really, like I would have to say that what really keeps me in it is that I make a lot of money. You know.
That's a real honest answer. I like that.
That's amazing. Oh my god. But like on top of that, man. So Mike is one of the best trainers, I think. So I really wanted to know, like, when you left the personal development industry, you left for whatever reasons. Man, you give a really good training, Mike.
Well, you know, there was a network marketing company started at the end of '94 called the People's Network, and it was a private satellite television that was beaming in personal development into homes. And so I really thought that was a great idea. And at the time, I was living in Manhattan, downtown Manhattan, and one of my like all-time like most consistent students, this woman named Amy, and Amy had just had a couple of kids, or just had a kid, and then another one on the way. And she used to like come like sign up for I did an ongoing course that meant like every other week, and it was really priced inexpensively. It was like only like $50 a month, and this was like back in '94, and she didn't like sign back up again. And I called her up and I said, you know, I'm just curious as to why. And she told me that, you know, it wasn't the affordability of the class, but she would have to hire babysitters and come to down from upstate. Like she lived in about 50 miles north of Manhattan. She'd have to come down and probably have dinner in the city, and so it like every time she came in, it was like $150 to $200, and so and all of a sudden these guys were coming on with a private satellite network and delivering personal development into the home for $50 a month.
And that's TPN, right?
Yeah, it was PPN, yes. So I got involved, and the first person I ever signed up was my kid brother, who's today is my business partner, and best sign up I ever signed up.
You know, I've always been curious about that, you know, because let's say like but you're a partnership, or like, you know, like I don't really know how the whole like structuring works. Like I got a little glimpse of it when I was hanging out with Mike and Kim in Mexico, but like there's like positions and stuff and like things you can do with organizations and stuff, like, but you guys are like one person, or like when you move to Legal Shield, now you're like one team, right? Like one associate agreement.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, that's anyways.
And then when Steve married Kim, he wanted to bring Kim in on like the inner circle of the business, and I was like, if it ain't broke, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. But I owed him a favor, so I said, I do owe you that one favor. And when we first started with this company, my older daughter was beginning university, and he just let me pull up, like I pulled out of that cash flow to pay her first year's tuition. And so that was a big favor I owed him. I said, like, I owe you that favor. You can bring it in now. And so he did. But, so me and Steve are 50-50 partners. And what his arrangement with Kim is, whatever his arrangement is, because they got divorced.
Got you. Well, that's a great topic for today. It's favors. That's an amazing topic. Oh my God. Yeah, go ahead.
How long did you say you've been in legal shield?
Since 98.
98. Wow. No, that's pretty cool. Cause like, network marketing is my industry, and truth be told, it wasn't really until recently that I really saw it as like a profession. Cause I feel like when I first got into it, I was in it with a lot of amateurs, and it was during like COVID time. So I feel like at that time, people that started then almost saw it as a bubble because there was an influx everywhere, because it was almost like an unrealistic influx across the industry, not just the company that I was in, but it was really just kind of across the industry. So now doing well and then dropping down and, just learning so much from like the real ins and outs of the industry of how to actually build it when like the world is open and when the regular life is regular life. I finally, like I've been starting to meet a lot of people who've been doing this 10 years, 20 years, 30 years. But the people that I first got introduced with it was their first couple of years. So it's really just like it's amazing to me because now it's like, wow, like this is really a true like industry. It's really like a profession. And I feel like not a lot of people realize that it's a career lane, just like being a doctor.
I know, it's got so many benefits too, because like, I have all the time freedom in the world now.
Yeah.
And I've had that for like 20 years. I mean, I can do what I want, go where I want. I can afford to travel. And like, for example, this summer, my granddaughter, who's going to turn 17, and I are going to Europe for a month,
Yeah.
And she grew up in New York City, and she shared a room with her older sister. And I used to say to her, well, what do you want for your birthday? And she said, Grandpa Mike, I don't have any room for anything. And so I said to her, look, maybe we can just save up your birthdays and take a trip somewhere. And she said, like, where? I said, wherever you want. And she said, like Paris? I said, sure. So this summer we're going to London, Paris, Berlin, and Edinburgh.
Oh man, she's smart. Are you taking people with you? Can we come?
Well, Karina is about your granddaughter's age, so.
Yeah.
I'm gonna order the 17. But 26.
Well, good for you. I mean, once you see it as an industry, you just want to go and learn the principles of the industry and then apply them. And that's what we did. Like once you make leveraged income and passive income, you don't want to go back.
You can't.
You really can't.
You can't. You may step away, get your head on for a minute, but you're gonna come right back.
I agree.
That's what she said.
That's what you say. Of the principles that you've been able to learn and live, what are the pillars of the principles for you?
What you do has to be duplicatable. It has to be able to duplicate. So if I expose you to the business in such a way, you have to be able to do it tomorrow, whether or not I am there. Like the acid test is not will it work, but does it duplicate? That's my personal opinion about the most important aspects of the business.
And like with the way that social media and the way honestly marketing is now compared to when you got first started, have you changed anything?
Totally different. I mean, what happens now is people don't answer their phones.
Yeah.
I mean, back when I started, we were on the phone all day, every day.
Right.
And people would answer their phones. But now people don't. So, mostly what I'll do is when I'm prospecting, I'll text somebody and say, hey, I'd like to talk to you for a couple minutes. And what would be a good time? And then they give me a reply or they don't,
Right.
and and so then I call them at the time that they said be okay.
That's gold. That's gold right there. Cause it's funny to, like to hear it change. Cause in the like whenever I was hearing your trainings, like you talk about getting on the phone and getting on the phone, but now it's like it's way different. And then
Yeah.
sometimes we think we're the only ones that don't answer the phone, but then
It's not true.
100%.
nobody does.
Nobody answers the phone. You know, it's funny now because now, like, when someone calls you, sometimes like your phone will automatically screen the call and it'll tell you like if it's a scam or something like that. So
Yeah.
there was one time I got a call come in and they said, it was a scam. It turned out to be like a really important message that I was actually waiting for somebody to call. And I ended up listening to, they left what's called like a voicemail, right? They left a voicemail afterwards, and I listened to the voicemail. I was like, oh my God, like I was missing this call. And then it just made me realize, like, man, not picking up the phone sometimes, like, really blocked my blessing. Because then I had to, now me and this person was kind of like playing phone tag. And I was like, man, if I just picked up the phone, I wouldn't kind of be running into this situation. So now I'm like, even if it says it's a scam call, I'm just going to pick up the phone and see what happens.
Wow.
So where are you in Florida too, Mike?
I'm in Las Vegas.
You're in Las Vegas. Okay.
Yeah.
That's crazy. So that's two good topics that you guys just said. This is what I do. So favors, back and forth, reciprocity, and blocking your blessings. If sometimes if you're like how are you blocking your blessings when you say no to things, or like whenever like you brush something off or somebody off. Those are two great topics right there.
Yeah, I don't know the really answer to that question.
Europe. Man, how many countries have you been to, Mike? Have you counted, or you just go wherever you want? Like, doesn't really matter.
I've probably been to about 20 countries.
I have on my list right now to go to Africa, Asia, and South America. I went to Colombia 3-4 months ago, and that was a trip. I don't know if I told you this, but I got robbed. I got robbed at gunpoint in Medellin.
Tell me that.
Yeah. Yeah, so that was an experience there, and I got scammed in Bogota by this girl. She didn't take a lot of money, but it was still like an experience for me. Like, law of attraction is so crazy because and I know you both believe in this. It's before I set out to go to Colombia, I started looking into and started like planning out. I was writing a script about like con artists, and then when I got in Colombia, like somebody tried to scam me like right when I got there. So man, that was crazy. Like what has been your experience with that, like with the law of attraction, like attracting good things and bad things?
I was doing a job in New York City, in New York once, where I was working on I was doing a painting job for a guy. Let me just say this properly. So I was doing a painting job out in New Jersey, and this guy got the job, and he had a turbo stop. And things were not going great in his life at that moment in time. And he had a situation where the car started making some noises. And he said to me, like, what else could go wrong? And I said to him, you don't want to know the answer to that question. And so that's what I think, like, people will attract situations to themselves. It's not something vis-a-vis their language and like their questions. Your brain, your mind will, when you ask it a question, your mind will seek the answer. And so when you want to be careful, like what questions you ask of the universe, because certain things you don't want to see. I don't know if that makes sense.
Absolutely. It's like you remind me of the movie Constantine when she says I open my eyes, can you open my eyes? And he's like, I don't know if you want to do that, because like she's like, why? And he's like, well, there's no going back. Once you see it, they know where you are.
It's funny because like unconsciously, like we say things so passively. Like, for example, like let's say I was walking over here on this sidewalk and someone was like, man, imagine if the alligator just came up and just bit off your leg, right? Would say so fast. I'm like, no, like I don't want to imagine that. Like, no, I don't. I'm not gonna imagine that.
And
it's just funny because it's like we say it kind of, not to say that like the universe is gonna take everything that we say extremely literal. But if, you know, the emotions and such are attached to it, it's just funny because, like, we don't even recognize that. Just what you might imagine, just so powerful.
No.
Welcome, Monica.
Thank you. Thank
Monica,
you.
Monica, this is Mike Milia, and then this is Karina Cruz.
Nice to meet you guys.
Hey, Monica, nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too.
So, Karina, do you know Monica?
I don't know Monica.
Okay, so Monica is she's a life coach in Romania.
I don't think so.
Wow.
Yeah, and Monica, this is Mike Milia. He's like a superstar hippie concert goer from all over, and he's from New York originally, and he's in Las Vegas now. And Karina is in Palm Bay, Florida, or she's in Tampa, Florida, and she does a coffee company. Like,
So, Joe, I gotta
Nice,
ask.
lovely.
yeah, go ahead.
Joe, because every time I hop on here, I ask, how did you meet everyone?
Yeah, it's weird because, for example, like, so I met Mike by just joining Legal Shield. I joined, it was prepaid legal at the time, and then I didn't know Mike. I had no intentions of meeting Mike, but then I went to a meeting, and then I went to a conference, and Mike has actually been at the very top of the company since I joined that company. So like it just happened to be like over time we got to know each other and became friends. And I don't know. You tell me, Mike, if I'm using the term friends loosely. You tell.
I consider us friends.
Yeah, so and then Monica, I met Monica from Tony Robbins because I went to Tony Robbins, and then I actually met her on Facebook because I started posting like I was giving out free coaching sessions, and then Monica answered one of my ads on Facebook, and that's how we met through Tony Robbins and stuff. And then Karina, I met Karina in Toastmasters. I went to a Toastmasters meeting in Orlando, Florida. It was like one of the best Toastmasters meeting in the whole world. And just for context, I have been to hundreds of Toastmasters meeting in 4 different countries. So just to tell you, Karina, like that's one of the best Toastmasters clubs in the world. Like the energy there is incredible.
Man, that like set like a very high standard for me. I'll be honest. If the rest of the Toastmasters are not like this, like I'm not sure I even want it.
It's very rare. It's very rare to find one like that.
Yeah.
You
No,
know?
it was great. I literally I haven't been around in Orlando on a Wednesday, but I definitely have to make it back here. Everyone is so cool.
Yeah, so look at this panel here that we have, and this is the beautiful part. That this is what I love, you know. Every day like that I do one of these calls, I invite a few people, you know, usually, and you know, as you know, like Mike and Karina doing network marketing, you know the numbers game, right? So I usually invite like 20, 30, 40 people, and usually I have like anywhere from 2 to 10 people show up, you know. So but the beautiful part is the people who are here for a reason, and I love the dynamics that happen whenever we bring in people from different sides and different opinions. Everybody's so unique and different and beautiful. So you know, for example, Karina's in her 20s, I'm in my 30s, Monica's in her 40s. Mike, what are you in your late 40s?
Which? I'm sure like I've been like in business longer than any of you were born.
I can't wait to say that one day.
Nah, don't worry. It's overrated.
It's over. Yeah. But this is what's beautiful here, because like I feel like, and this is a belief I've had for a long time, and it's that youth has energy, age has wisdom, and together they coexist beautifully, and it creates a combination that is better than a lot of things. It's better than most things, I think. And I think that synergy there, I love it, and that's one of the main reasons I started this Zoom. Because
Monica, tell us a little bit more about yourself.
Thank you, Mike. Well, I love to write. I love to write a lot. I'm passionate about learning, finding more, and I created this brand, Self Love Genie, and it focuses on self-love, obviously, and trying to help women just like me, like myself, to embrace self-love and rediscover themselves, regain their full confidence, so they can date again. Sorry if you guys hear the barking. I'm somewhere where there's
We
a lot
can't
of
hear the
dogs.
barking.
Oh, that's good then. So I'm from Romania originally. I lived abroad most of my life. I'm a lover of simple things. I fall in love with people's energy, and I think connection and good intention is all that you need, with consistency and perseverance, yes. All you need to be
Great.
content, happy, and progress.
Cool. Thank you.
Thank you. Most welcome.
Josias, I'm going to go fill my coffee cup up.
Okay, go ahead.
I'll be right back.
Yeah, everybody needs coffee.
True.
Almost done with mine.
Yeah, Monica's getting.
It was a full cup, but when we first started this.
Yeah, I know, Monica. Yeah, see, I usually have 2 cups. Sometimes I have water, like I do hydrogenated water, and sometimes I have tea. This is tea and this is coffee. So it's weird because I don't know. It's just you need to hydrate. You know what's something interesting that I learned yesterday? That whenever you drink coffee, it's not the coffee that wakes you up; it's the water in the coffee. And what coffee actually does is it kind of like lies to you because like it tells you that you're not tired. So that's what it does.
Yeah.
But the water, the hydration, is what actually gives you energy. So that was so interesting. I mean, I didn't know that, and it's just look at you got a dog, Monica.
It's my family dog. It's some of my family dog.
Ah.
She smiles, by the way. She knows how to smile.
Let's see it. Where's that smile at?
No, but she does it whenever she wants. So
Got you.
I can't tell her smile. But it's a hunting dog, yeah. But she's really very overly friendly and very nice.
Yeah, I mean, oh yeah. So Mike, Monica just brought her dog on. You missed it.
Oh.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, yeah. So.
Monica, is that the book you wrote?
One of it, yeah, one of it.
Wow, good for you. Congratulations.
Yeah, thank you so much. Thank you, really. One of it. But it gets better as I age. As I go through the process, it gets better. Yeah.
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 Yes.
you.
So Mike, so Monica has been trying to get her coaching brand off the ground for a while now, and I know you were in the space. You like I don't know if you were a coach or like if like the seminar business. Would you have any recommendations for Monica, for her to get it off the ground? Because she's in Romania, though. That's the thing. So she's trying to get American clients or like people in the West.
Yeah, I mean, the biggest thing I would recommend is have an idea of who you're looking for.
Oh, I do have.
Oh no, I'm sure you do. I mean, but that would be my biggest advice. I mean, like for example, when I was in sort of that space, I consulted with individual people that ran their own businesses. That's who I positioned myself as a consultant to people that ran their own companies. Oftentimes they were one-person operations. I was married to a woman who was an actress at the time, and so
Nice.
we knew a lot of people. I knew a lot of people in the acting profession. Like a lot of times people are educated in certain things, but they don't really understand business. So I would really make sure that they understood what the business that they were in, and what their goals were and things like that.
Yeah, I love what. Thank you, Mike. I love the analogy, or I don't know how to put it. Joe, a couple of years back, said, because I'm in Romania and obviously all the work I do it's in English. He said it's like I go to the gym and I'm trying to lift weights 8 kg before I go to 2 or 3. So because obviously being in Romania and doing everything in English doesn't help me much,
Yeah.
But I love what I do. I just love what I do, and when the time is right, I'll break through.
I think loving what you do is really it's going to be one of your strengths with anybody's strength, really.
Yeah. So you gotta love what you do. You gotta love.
I agree.
I have a question. I feel like everyone kind of like is creating a brand of their own, but also like it's about brand and it's about business. Like you create the brand that creates the business. So like, how have you guys been able? Do you think it's more important to focus on building your brand, or more important to focus on like building the business? That makes sense.
Yeah, it makes sense. But I guess branding, building a brand is part of building a business. I guess, in my vision, in my opinion. And branding is like positioning, kind of. I mean, so I created Self-Love Genie. So I was trying to say Monica, but who is Monica Periade? Come on, really, come on, people. So, but the moment I created Self-Love Genie, it shifted something for me, and obviously for the people that are with me. So it shifted something. It's different. It doesn't show it's about me. It shows about what I'm trying to convey, what I'm trying to build. So it's good.
Yeah, I think building building brand, yeah, like you said, positioning, but then sometimes, like, I think for the business side, Mike would be the person for this question, but I think like Tony Robbins has got a quote that's like, people try to, let's say if they want to lose weight, they try to, oh, let me get the best trainer, the best gym. But sometimes if you're fat, you just need somebody to get behind you and yell, run, and then just do what you need to do.
With the training, it's compatibility. With the training, it's compatibility. Specifically with the training, it's compatibility. It's that person in the same energy and mind frame is very important, really.
Mike, you've been consistent, like, with your work, like, for so long, man. Like, what would you say? Like, how do you tie in, like, the discipline part? That's the part I struggle with the most.
Josias, I don't really have to be that disciplined anymore. I mean, because what we built, and when I first started building it, I thought about, like, what I want to do is generate like a cash machine that just flows in regardless of what I do, and through the power of numbers, like right now, I've said before, we got my partners and I got a $25,000 bonus last month, and it wasn't anything that we've done in the work we did that led to that bonus. We did years and years ago. When I looked at the network marketing model, that's how I saw it, and that's what I wanted to create. Now we've created that. So the funny thing is, like, I mean, every once in a while when I have to buckle down to do something, it takes a lot more work than it did when I was just excited about the possibility of making some money.
Yeah, buckling down. I mean, that's right there. So buckling down, what is that? I've been having trouble with that lately.
Like your stuff, like with Tony Robbins and NLP, like, you want to imagine what did you do, and also imagine what did you don't. If you don't buckle down and you don't get this result, what's the likely consequences? And what are the likely consequences if you do buckle down and you get the result? That's one of the things I continually work on.
Do you have like a simple?
When I'm coaching somebody else, right now I'm sort of better at coaching other people than I am at coaching myself.
But that's pretty normal, isn't it?
I think that's pretty normal.
That's like across the board, like we can tell anybody what to do, but then when it comes down for us to actually do it. What about 90-day runs? What do you think about 90-day runs, Mike?
Well, I mean, that's a loaded question. I am big time in favor of building your business in 90-day cycles, because for 90 days you can, like, stay locked and loaded, and you can do anything for 90 days. And I believe also, when I used to be in the seminar business, I used to run a seminar that was 90 days long. And the reason I did it was because, like, they say it takes like a month to change a habit. And that's probably true. But when I was doing 90-day cycles, when I worked with people that way, I found that, like, they would inevitably in a 90-day period run into their typical dysfunctional patterns. And then I would be there to coach them through that.
Because everyone here, like, we're all in different industries. Like, me and Mike, we're kind of in the same industry, but at the end of the day, like, principles are principles. So, like, let's say you're helping someone in a 90-day run in, like, a different industry. What are, like, certain things to focus on still?
Well, number one, what your goal is, where you want to be at the end of the 90 days. And then number two, I think the second most important thing is, what is your daily method of operation that's going to bring that goal into existence? And then along the way, I would have milestones. Where do you want to be 2 months from now? Where do you want to be 1 month from now? Where do you want to be 2 weeks from now? Where do you want to be at the end of the first week? And you want to be able to make reasonable progress in reasonable time.
I was talking about something similar to this the other day, about setting big believable goals. Because it's like, if you can't believe that you're gonna do it, it could be like what is that word? Detrimental instead of positively encouraging. If you set a goal that's too big, so big believable goals. What would you say would be, like, the key to set a big goal but that's believable to you?
When I set out in this business, and one of the reasons I became partners with my kid brother was purposefully what we wanted to do was create wealth, and through owner through business, So obviously, so that was a very big goal, but that was like a little bit down the road. In the course of that, I learned how to build my business in 90-day cycles. And so like if you're at like a 5-year goal, it's hard to see 5 years down the road, but it's easy enough to see 90 days down the road. I mean, 90 days from now, like June, July, August, the end of August, it's easy to see, the end of August, the beginning of September right now, but it's way more difficult to see, 2030.
Could you walk us through the process of a 90-day cycle? Like, let's say setting goals, doing affirmations, getting the work done, having the work clear. Like you said, the modus operandi, like the command center, like where you have like the work actually like the flow that you have planned, and then the expectation, during and after a 90-day cycle.
Joe, sorry to interrupt. I have to go. I'm sorry about that, but it's my birthday. I'm in the middle of things.
Oh, happy birthday! That's right. It's her birthday. Happy birthday, Monica. Hey, wait, before you go, we're gonna sing you happy birthday. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Monica. Happy birthday to you. Woo!
You are lovely. You show love. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Yes.
Big number for me today, but I do.
Happy birthday.
It's almost done because I'm on the other continent, but I do enjoy the rest of it. Thank you so much. Thank you.
We will. I'll send you the recording, Monica.
I'll see you guys Friday, right?
Yeah, Friday. Yeah.
All right. See you on Friday.
All right.
Big kiss.
Mwah.
Thank you so much. Bye. Thank you.
Bye. That's Monica right there. She's great. I visited her in Iași, Romania. Like I was in Poland, and like we were talking on WhatsApp and Facebook, and then she's like, well, come visit me. So I went to visit her, and I got to visit Iași. But then when I went to Bucharest, I didn't like it. Iași is nice, but the big city in Romania, I didn't really like it. Have you been there, Mike? Romania?
No.
Yeah, but anyways, let's go back to this, like a 90-day cycle. Like what does the process look like, whenever you buckle down and do a 90-day run? What does that look like for you?
You begin with the end in mind. You like write down what are my goals for the 90-day run, and then you back it up from there. Where do I want to be 60 days from now? Where do I want to be 30 days from now? Where do I want to be 15 days from now? And then you make sure that you make a plan, right? And you plan, understanding that the plan that you're starting with is not necessarily the plan that gets you there. So you have to create and adjust along the way. And so you have regular times where you plan what I call plan, do, and review, and you do that, and then when you plan, do, and review, you look at how's the plan working, and then you adjust it accordingly. In most situations, there are and Karina said this before, there are certain principles that you just have to employ, and particularly in network marketing, obviously, what do? We gather people to us, and then I heard Jim Rohn speak once, and he said, if you want to make some money in this industry, you learn the business. If you want to make bigger money, you learn to teach people the business. If you want to work the big money, you learn to teach people to teach the business. And so, when I look at someone someone coming up through my team, what I'm looking to do is develop them into a teacher who teaches the business, And when I've accomplished that, then they don't need my help anymore, and they're totally independent. They know what they're doing. They're doing it for their own reasons, and that's freedom.
Yeah.
Did you ever meet Brad Roberts?
Yeah, from Canada, right?
Yeah, he's from Canada. So Brad is called me up one time, and he said, listen, Rob McKenzie asked me to call you. He said, he said he's too close to coach me, that I'd be better off with maybe you. And so I agreed to coach him as long as he did everything I said. And he did. And nowadays, he has the fastest growing team on my team. And so, which is great about that is I don't have to do I almost never talk to him except for at the big events when I see him. But meanwhile, he knows that he knows that if he needs to talk to me, I'm there for him.
Right, but he doesn't need you anymore because you trained him on the activities, like what he needed to do.
Yeah, and he's become a leader himself. He understands the industry, he understands the dynamics, he knows how to work with people. He's doing a great job,
What does that coaching process look like? Like it's a different for everybody, I guess. But like once you, let's say you lock into somebody and you pour your heart into them and like say, hey, this is what you need to do. I'm gonna coach you. Blah blah blah. What does that look like?
So in his situation, and back in those days, we had a call. I had a cash out call every Friday at 5 o'clock. And when that call was over, I would get on a call on the phone with him and a conference call with his major leaders. And I would like spend half hour with them and listen to what they had to do, listen to what they had accomplished in the last week, and then adjust my comments accordingly.
So pretty much like you just empathetic, intuitive coaching, where like you kind of listen to them, see where he needed the help, and then that's when you.
They were either on track doing what I recommended, or they were off track. If they were off track, I put in the course correction. If they were on track, I just keep doing it. And he was a pretty disciplined worker. Within 3 months, he made executive director, and he's never gone back. And now he made platinum last month.
So this would be interesting to see. So Karina, so where are you at in your business? And let's say if you were to get coaching on anything, like what would you, if you were to ask somebody that's been there, done it, like what would be the main thing that you would want to know, or like you would want to know to implement?
Mike, you've already said so much that I'm gonna go and do right after this call is done. Like you've already said like so many things, in terms of just whatever you do being duplicatable. It's funny that you talked about a 90-day run, because just last night I was on a call. We were talking about 90-day runs. On Sunday I was on another call. We were talking about 90-day runs. In 2 days I'm going to be going to a convention. I'm sure they're going to be talking about a 90-day run. So I know that's something I'm gonna like. I'm right about to go.
Karina, what's the name of the company that you work with?
Envision You. Do you know the name Bass Grant or David Benitier?
No, but
they were in prepaid legal years ago. They started off in prepaid legal. That's where they met. I didn't think he didn't really like find success too much in prepaid legal. But a Bass Grant, and like I know you're a top earner. I think you only might have hit. I'm not sure what your $10,000 a month level is. I think you might have just hit that level. And then from there, they went to Organo Gold. So they were there for almost 10 years. They were there for some time. And then, they left. They worked with, Holton Bugs, things like that. And then they went to IML Academy. So that's where I had met them.
IML?
Yeah, they've rebranded now to a completely different name. But that's where I met them. So I first got introduced as, like I said, COVID year 2020. I thought the industry was one way, and then the world opened back up. And I feel like I had to relearn everything.
Oh yeah.
Everything boom. It's like if you stepped into it, like you're bound to be successful just because people had time. It was like it gave a lot of people unrealistic expectations, and that was like a big learning curve that I had to kind of go.
What's the name of your company, Karina?
So that company was called IML, but now I'm in a company called Envision You. So the company, it just started about 2.5 years ago. But the people who started this, Yvonne Tapia, David, they've been in the industry probably like 20 years. Yvonne Tapia, David. So the owners are kind of coming at it with experience. They're doing in sales in their first year, so it's pretty cool. But we talk about companies like Legal Shield, like Amway, like Herbalife, because they've been around so long. Like we talk about like how to learn from other industries, because there's a reason that it's still around, although everyone may not know it. So what would you say are some of the things that have made like your company specifically like last as long as it has?
I think one of the big things, we used to have when I got involved, the number one money earner was a guy named Dave Sabula. And Dave used to say like, that dog can run without any feet. Hey guys, I'm gonna have to go in a minute.
Okay.
But what he meant by that was like, the service is so good that even though we screw it up all the time, and the history of the company was they had a difficult time getting to be like 25 years old. But since they've been 25, the last 25 years, I got involved when they were 26 years old. And the last 25 years have been like pretty smooth sailing with a couple of like, wrenches in the works.
Yeah.
Like one time we got bought out by a private equity company in 2012. 12, and they put people in charge who really didn't understand our industry.
Yeah. And I think, so the people that I work with now, I think they had joined around that time, during that transition, that
phase. That was a tough time.
Yeah.
Wow.
I only had signed up 2 people during that whole time that are still with me today.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Listen, guys, Karina, it's been a pleasure to meet you.
Likewise.
I gotta rock and roll.
Hey Mike, just one more thing. So let's say one last thing. So you known me for 15 years, for around maybe 10, 12 years around there. Like in about 30 seconds or 30 seconds to a minute, like what would you recommend for me? Because I've jumped around a lot of things. What would you say my biggest flaw is, and like how could I improve upon that?
Decide what game you want to be in, and then just like dedicate yourself to it. It's that simple. It's going to take you 3 to 5 years to really create success in any endeavor. So decide what you want that to be, and then commit yourself to the process.
All right.
Alrighty, I gotta rock and roll, guys.
Thank you, Mike.
Again, nice to meet you. And good luck with everything. I hope I get to see you again.
Oh, most definitely. I appreciate it, Mike. Have a good one.
Thank you. Bye-bye, guys.
But wow. So yeah. So Wednesday, like I've been having really big calls like for the past like couple weeks. The usual people, Andriana, Suyen, they've been on here. Like this is the first call where it's been kind of shaky, and I think maybe like I'm running out of people.
No such thing as running out of people.
Yeah, but I'm getting to the point. Where I need to start getting new people, which I think is a good place for me because I need to start networking again. Like it's a numbers game at the end of the day,
right.
And for everything. But I think like Mike just said,
what's like your angle with all of like the networking?
Well, the networking just became a part of me. Like from when my dad was a pastor, so I learned early on to reach out to people. And that was always like something that was ingrained in me. Ever since I can remember, I always used to walk the halls in the school and in elementary, middle school, high school. I always used to stay late. My parents didn't come get me till later. Like, so I had like sometimes 2 hours, 3 hours waiting in the school, waiting for my parents. So I would just walk around and I would look for people to talk to. Like,
you're that guy.
I'm that guy. Yeah, I would just stay around. So I would connect. So I would I would just look for I would look for pretty girls. Like actually I'd be like, who can I talk to? Who's still here? Like that was the thing. Who's still here at the end of the day? And sometimes I would like meet the teachers and I would talk to the teachers. And then once I came to Florida, I went to high school there. I remember these little pockets of things of like that happened to me. Like I remember when I first came to Florida, there was like 7 girls that lined up and wanted to meet me because I was like the new kid from Puerto Rico. And like that was like, whoa, what is this? This is like my dream come true. And then the next day they never spoke to me again. Like So it's like, so ever since then, like I'm just a curious guy. I like
your first dose of like how business works sometimes.
Exactly. So it's like I get all the attention and then the next day is like boom, nothing.
They just ignore your follow-up.
Yes. So when I turned 18, I graduated high school and I remember graduation day. All of my classmates were heading off to like a university. They were heading off to like UCF or FAU or like FIU or UF, and like I really didn't know what the fuck I wanted to do. I was just like, okay, now what? I've been doing this for 12 years. Now what? So I tried college, but I really wasn't focused on it. I was just mainly like dating in college and then but I started reading. I started reading books, and then at 21 I got into the Legal Shield. It was prepaid legal back then, so that kind of gave me a structure. It started giving me structure. I started getting into personal development, and I started reading books. And then through there, I had a little bit of success, like, but then it wasn't like significant. So then when I 23, 24, I fizzled out of that, and then I joined Toastmasters, and that became my focus because I wanted to learn how to do public speaking. And then at 24, I was kind of depressed, so a friend of mine recommended to go to Tony Robbins, and that was when I went to Dallas, and I hit my own Tony. I put everything on a credit card, and I just went, and then that taught me how to overcome like a lot of the fears I had, like cold water, approaching strangers. Like I did a lot more of that. And then at the time I got into petitioning. So that's when you approach somebody, you ask him to get a signature, and then you get paid for each one. So I said, "Whoa, I can get paid to flirt?" I'm like, "This is awesome." You know? Because with network marketing, you still get paid to flirt, but it takes a lot longer because you gotta go through the whole process. In petitioning, you just walk up to somebody, you get a signature, and you get paid. You know, so I've been. Yeah, go ahead.
I was gonna say the difference also in network marketing is there's residual attached to it on the back end.
That's true. Yeah. That's true if you can get there.
Yeah.
You know.
And I mean, honestly, Mike gave the whole play how to get there. Like when I tell you that in these 20 minutes I got a level of clarity that's just like divine. This was really cool.
Yeah, and that's true. Because that's what he said. It's like you've already decided what you wanted to do. So now when you get these things, you're ready to take action.
Right.
And
I know where I'm taking action.
That's all. Yeah, exactly. That's awesome.
Yeah.
I'm at a point right now where I've done a lot in my life. You know,
yeah.
I've been to 38 countries. I've made like $10,000 months. Like, right. I've been to hundreds of Toastmasters, hundreds of speeches, and I've done a lot of things. And then but the thing is, I've gone back to zero.
What are you searching for?
That's where I'm at. That's where I'm at right now. I'm looking for.
Yeah.
I'm looking for that because I know I can go on a 90-day run right now and get back to stability.
Like clearly, like whatever you put your mind to, like because you've already done it before, like you can be successful. It doesn't matter what you choose, you're gonna be successful in it. But it's just kind of like the idea of like, and this is like a conversation I probably had with myself before I even joined this company. I had this question to myself when I was I guess probably at like the lowest I'd ever been thus far in this lifetime. I was like, what do I want to be known for? Like I would ask myself that all the time, like, what do I want to be known for? Like when I die, what do people be like, Karina, like this is what she was about, like in her lifetime. Like when people think of me, I want them to think like, what is she known for? So I started to ask the people around me, like, what are you known for? And I started to ask people like, what am I great at? Like just people that know me, people that trust me, people that like have seen me both in like, you know, regular fun life, but then also like my business, my personal growth phase. Like I would ask my mom, I asked everyone like what am I great at? Like what do you think I'm great at? Like when you think of me, like what do you think of? And everyone told me like personal growth, finance, and like mindset to sum it all up. So I was like, okay, so now I have to find the right partnerships and places that align with that. Of like, okay, this is what I'm going to be known for my entire life. When people think of me, they're going to think of personal growth, they're going to think of finance, and they're going to think of, you know, mindset. Like I really just want my life to be a reflection of one God, you know, like kingdomship. But then when I kind of came across the company that I'm partnered up with now, their mission and vision is to positively impact lives of a billion people spiritually, emotionally, and physically, and lead with the values of love, integrity, unity, and trust. Once I saw that, I said, oh yeah, it's game over. Like I know the partnership that I'm gonna have that aligns with what I want to be known for. And that's why like I'm not necessarily gun ho. I love network marketing, like the industry. I think it's great. I think it's a phenomenal business model. It is timeless. It's been around since the 80s, 70s. Like, it is a phenomenal principle. But I also know like it's about the right partnerships, relationships, and timing to really kind of have an explosion.
Right. Like, yeah, and that's exactly what I'm looking for. It's but more than anything, it's like I've done things already. So for me right now is I would like to start something that's more sustainable because have you ever heard the phrase build your house on the rock, not on the sand? So I've been building sand houses and sand castles all my life. So I've done a lot of things, but there was nothing like I guess financially and even in my relationships too. You know, it hasn't been like it's been all about shortcuts. How can I get my outcome the quickest way possible? And then I did it. How can I get this the quickest way possible? And I did that. But now I'm looking more into, okay, what do I really want to do? And then not how quickly can I get there, but how can I design a lifestyle that I want to be doing and then tie money into that. I do want to be a millionaire. That's one of my goals right now, to become a millionaire. But I want it to be based in a lifestyle that I'm enjoying what I'm doing.
Right.
I know I'm gonna have to sacrifice like for a period of time. However, that can't be. It can't be all suffering. It has to be.
Yeah.
It has to be enjoyable as well. You know, to
Yeah.
an extent. So because if I'm not enjoying the journey, then I'm not gonna be attractive to the people that I'm working with. You know, and that's kind of the thing. Like I've done it because I've done the 90-day runs, and I've gotten the results. But then afterwards, I was burnt out, and I didn't have anything. I didn't, you know, it wasn't sustainable how I did it. So it's more like what can I do? Let's say 90-day run, 90-day cycle. I do one 90-day cycle. Now it's just a matter of what do I do it in? That's gonna be fruitful, but also like is this gonna be a vehicle or a thing that I'm gonna want to stay in because I still have to maintain it. You know, let's say if I make let's say if I make like I grow my income right to a certain amount. You know, let's say eight to 9 or 10K
Right.
per month.
Right.
I still have to maintain that because if I stop, then it stops. I don't want that to happen again. You know what I mean? Because
Yeah.
so that's
And I think it was really like to what Mike was saying, and I can't wait to get this recording because I didn't get a chance to write down that quote that he said with Jim Rohn. But the idea of like duplication, and when you create a business, doesn't matter what business it is like you need people. Like when you think of like a corporation, you have your CEO, and then you have like other people that you work with. If you create a business where like you are your only source, you are gonna get burnt out because you didn't create a business, you created a very high paying job. You're just incredible. You're just a very high paid self-employee because if you ever stop, you don't get paid anymore. Whereas if you're creating a system, and this is like hence why I just love network marketing. Like that's why I like the business model, is because it's a phenomenal model because once you've learned, and like gave me such a breakthrough. Once you've learned how to teach people to teach the business, you can step away because you know that like you know how you play the game telephone. And then you tell someone something, and by the time it gets to the other person, it's all misconstrued. If you teach people how to do it and listen, the message will be passed down and will never get misconstrued. But it's just the work on the front end of knowing what message you're gonna give to other people. Like for example, like right now I'm actually texting a kid, 18 years old, never done anything, never been in this industry. Like I just see him becoming incredibly successful because it's like the things that we're teaching is duplicatable. And I think like the pillars that you learn inside this industry, and that's why like you're able to go into legal shield and do so many different things because at some point, maybe even subconsciously, you learn pillars that you learn principles that you were able to take to different places. Because that's all it's about. That's what makes this industry so good. Is because it's about principles. Like Mike was able to go and teach and help someone across any industry because he's teaching principles. He's not teaching the industry; he's teaching principles. So it's a very, very big difference. And when you focus on like the principles over like the product or the service, or it's not about like the company. That's why like whenever I talk to people, like I don't really care about the company. Like it's not about the company I'm a part of. It's about what I want to be known for. It's about like the feeling or how I leave people feeling at the end. It has nothing to do with the company. You'll probably never see me put the name of a company other than my own personal brand that I'm building across any of my social media, because I'm building my brand, partnering with the right places that align with my brand. I know what I want to be known for, and I attach myself to companies that are also want to be known for similar things. Because I don't want to go and create something that takes too much time. I don't have time. I want to get rich fast. I don't want to go and create all this stuff. I'm going to take what's already created and I'm going to leverage it how I see fit. So like you right now, like even, I'll be honest, I'll be a fool not to find a time that we can sit and kind of have a conversation. Because even you, like with the coffee and having these different conversations, like that is a lane. You don't have to build it. You don't have to make it. You just gotta talk about it and just have people taste it. It's so incredibly simple. Like it's so simple. And on the money side and the income and on the duplication of the residual, like there's so many different layers to it. And at that, I don't have to focus on creating something. I get to do what I'm great at, which is just connecting with people and bringing people together.
Right. Well, that's what I'm doing here. It's because it's about people, not about products or whatever. So
right. That's the conversation you can have, offline. But
the foundation is that like I have my family's construction company. I have like my legal shield associateship like still there. I have like different people in different businesses like affiliate like partnerships and stuff. But right now, like I want to build something that's fun, that's awesome. So I think like building a foundation on the people. So for example, like let's say if I have a call like Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and then now I'm talking with somebody in Australia, and then like on I met with somebody in Australia at 5 p.m. And then for them it's like 8 a.m. So I started an Australian call, a Zoom. So now I'm in connected in Australia. I'm building this network. When I go to Tony Robbins event, because I've done this before, like I'm like semi-famous. Like people are like, oh, that's Joe from like the thing like that, and
Cowboy.
yeah, the cowboy. But this is new though. This is I started wearing the hat because I've been losing the hair. So you know what I mean. Like I wanna be able to work on that. I'm going to Turkey and get that.
Yeah, that's it. You gotta go to Turkey.
Yeah. So, but yeah, and so what I just developed this the other day. I was thinking about this. I'm like, okay, where's this going?
Yeah.
That was your question, and then I was listening to a network marketing training because that's what I want to base. Like this guy Jeff Olson, he's really good trainer.
I know the name.
Yeah, so the whole thing, the 10 core commitments. Have you heard about that? So I can pretty much build this like that.
Yeah.
And then the thing is, once I have enough people and enough of an audience, it's like once you get your core group, then it's about having them do like the minimum amount of work every day, like 5 days a week. So like let's say in network marketing it'll be 2 exposures. Like talk to 2 people about the business per day and send 1 long distance package out. So if I can get 2 people a day, 2 people do like 5 people, and then also he says like you get your core 5 and then help them get their 5. So now you get your 30, and that's once you have that, that's when it blows up. So you get.
You should look up on YouTube Brendan Boyd and David Shands. They're both people that talk about like monetizing podcasts and like creating like offers within it and like really like how to have a 6-figure podcast. There's a lot of people that talk about it, but those are 2 of the people that I've seen who are really like doing it and living it.
Okay.
And they're like, yeah.
Can you write there? Can you?
I'll text it to you. I don't know the name of his podcast. And then David Shands, he has something called the Social Proof Podcast. And he's been David Shands.
Perfect. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
that people that I think you will align with a lot.
Yeah. So but the plan that came to me like in a download was basically this. It was so once I have like I'm gonna have my core people. I get my 5 and then get the 30. But then the activity is actually like the goal is to get sponsorships. So now like let's say like I'll be reaching out to 2 people a day on getting sponsorships. So eventually I'll get to get to $1 million. That's $205,000 sponsorships to get to $1 million. So as I'm growing my podcast, which it would be like doing the recordings, getting it edited, getting it uploaded, then getting shorts, getting those edited, getting those uploaded. Shorts is how they grow, and then like the initial audience will see the long form, but what I'm saying, most people will consume the short form content. I already have that system. Like I'm just restarting it, and then the next thing will be this core group here, the people that join me. Eventually, I'm looking for who's my 5, who's my first 5, and then one thing that Jeff Olson says is that your 5 will almost never be from the first exposure that you do. It usually comes in a second or third row. So let's say if I have somebody that's coming into the call, it will probably be like a guest of a guest of a guest of a guest. So that's what I'm going for right now. It's like one thing I've implemented, like I think starting Monday, was like I'm asking people to bring a guest. Like, hey, do you know somebody who would enjoy this dynamic? And then like if you want to invite somebody, invite them on. For example, like, and then once that person comes in, they become a part of my network. And then now, like, I tell that person if they enjoy the dynamic, they stick around. I'm like, do you know anybody that would enjoy this dynamic? They invite somebody else. You know what I mean? Once I build that and I get that, I'm looking for my aces. You know what I'm saying? Like from a deck of cards. I'm looking for my aces and my kings and my queens and my jacks. And once I get those people, that's when it really takes off. But right now I'm looking at building the habits to start the infrastructure. And once I have that made, then it's just about finding my aces.
Sure. Yeah, I'm gonna try and find the video that I watched Brendan Boyd do. But he talked like it's very similar to what you were saying, but it takes a lot less than what we think it does.
Mm-hmm.
And it's pretty incredible. I do definitely have a hard stop at 12:30. Well, I have to hop off like a minute or two. So I have a meeting at 12:30. But this was definitely like this was cool. I'm excited to see what comes of all of this for you. I can tell like it's gonna be something massive just because your heart's in the right place. And that alone kind of like that says everything. I feel like when your intention behind what you're doing is good, it's always gonna turn out to be in your favor. That's all it comes down to. Like intention. If your intention is good, nothing can fail.
That's not true.
So, I mean,
that's not true because you get
it depends on like your definition of failure, because something can go bad for the right reasons.
Right. But if you got a motivated idiot, all you got is a motivated idiot. So that's
your intention is still there. It eventually is gonna work out if the intention is right.
So yeah, I mean, between you and I mean, have you started your podcast yet?
I actually just connected with someone out here in Tampa that I can use as like a consistent studio to meet different people. So whenever I have people in Tampa, now I have someone somewhere to get with. Pretty soon, if honestly it wasn't for convention, I would have went ahead and ordered all of my equipment to do like a traveling podcast. Because like I said, I want to meet people in person. I want to have like a traveling podcast. I want to be able to meet people in any city that I go in, to just sit down over a cup of coffee and have a conversation. So I'm definitely right now I'm just networking with people, just keeping different people top of mind of like when it is come to time to be like, hey, let's sit down for 20 minutes over a cup of coffee and have a conversation. I'm making note of different people I'll talk to. So definitely. You're big on that list, my friend, but I like to can't be getting people together, and the energy. But for me, like it's just a passion project. Like it's just an excuse to sit down with people, and just kind of get like free mentorship almost.
That's exactly what it is, and sometimes. Yeah. I just need that's my selfish thing that I'm doing. It's like whenever I have, and then it's like, have you ever used ChatGPT as a panel? Like, have you ever done an expert panel with ChatGPT?
I haven't done the expert panel, no.
So you tell it to do like, you're just like, hey, like pretend like this person and this person, let's say Jim Rohn, Jeff Olson, like Brian Tracy, they're all in the room. Now, and then you activate the voice feature. Now, let's say I walk in a room and I ask this question. And now you're like, so that's what I'm doing here on AI, and I'm doing the same thing with real people. Because when I have, let's say, like you weren't a part of the previous ones that I did, like the latest ones, but that's what I've been doing. I've been moderating a discussion. So I'll ask a question and I'll listen, and I'm like, and I'm just gathering ideas from all these people.
Right. That's pretty cool.
Yeah. So that's all I'm doing. But when it comes down to collaborations, that's what I'm looking for. I'm looking for people, for example, like Andriana wanted to start her own podcast, and then she's just gonna join mine. Xuyen, she's starting her own podcast, and then like I'm trying to help her like to develop that. She's developing her own thing, So with you, like have you ever heard of the Brilliant Idiots, like Andrew Schultz and Charlemagne the God?
Oh, I've heard of Charlemagne the God, but I haven't watched any of their content.
Yeah, so they have a podcast together, and then he also has his own thing, and Charlemagne has like the Breakfast Club,
Yeah.
So that's what I'm thinking. You and I could have like a podcast, let's say once a month or twice a month or something like that.
Yeah, I'm all for it.
Let's do it.
Yeah, for sure. Like I've been. It's funny. Literally just yesterday, I was like, man, I gotta find a way to get on more podcasts, especially as I do different things, put together different events. Like I'm putting together like a really cool sip and paint event. Sip and paint / networking event out here in Tampa. So it'll be kind of like an experience. Like there'll be like someone will come in and get a ticket, and like I'll kind of direct people to different areas. So like I said, we have 20 people. 5 people will be doing a sip and paint. 5 people will be getting a facial. 5 people will be doing a different activity, and then we'll all kind of rotate. So it's going to be like a monthly event. I'm going to start to do at this place called The Factory out here in Tampa, but our first one is going to be on July. So now like I want to start to meet people, get the word out, and it's really like the whole intention behind it is just like a place to kind of create a community out here in the area of like, and we're going to highlight different people's businesses. So it's not going to be the same rotation of businesses every single time. Sometimes we may put together, talks and seminars. We may have different speakers. I know someone else who does like poetry slams. So, may turn it into something like that. So as of late, that's kind of like what I've been working on. So I'm definitely excited for that. So, I mean, in the future, like you can maybe even have kind of like your own segment of something of like, I don't know, there's a whole bunch of different things that you can do, but kind of sit with that and hopefully kind of see that vision. But
beautiful.
Yeah.
All right. Well, cool. Well, let's end it here. This has been fun. What would be like one word? What would be your word of the day?
My word of the day: gratitude. Gratitude. Bliss.
I like that.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah.
Okay, great. Yeah, for me, it's connection.
connection. You know what? I was thinking of that word too. I was like, connect. I was like, no, I'm feeling very grateful right now. So
Yeah, yeah.
that was
So
my other word.
yeah. Well, nice. Well, much success to you in your endeavors, my
Likewise.
friend. And
Likewise.
let's definitely keep it going.
Yeah, most definitely. I'll talk to you soon.
All right, peace.
Despierta, la alarma solo odio en la mañana, pero con sonrisa falsa todo en calma.